Hello and welcome back to what I think is now just my filming corner. I've realized there's not really another good place in this house that has good lighting, has an interesting background, so you're probably going to see this background a lot more for the time being. Today is another video that I have wanted to do for a really long time because I always see this type of video on YouTube, and it is a what's in my bag video, but this will be the work bag edition. As you guys may know from my previous videos, I am a corporate girly. I work in professional services, and so this is the bag that I always take to work when I'm going into the office or going into the client office. I also think this is kind of in line with under consumption core, just because everything that you're going to see in this video is not like some of the other videos that I see online with people who are, I guess, influencer status, or people who might not necessarily be non-full-time / part-time content creators. You'll hopefully see what I mean. It's basically just the idea that not everything that I'm going to be showing you is brand new or bought for the purposes of this video or for this aesthetic. I don't know. I'm not trying to say that no one lives like this. In fact, I think most people are like this. Everyone that I know is like this. Most of the people that I work with would agree. This is not to say that it is wrong if you have a special work bag and you like decorating it and all of that stuff. I just think that the way that I approach this kind of thing, it's more in line with what people consider under consumption core. So take that how you will. But if you do feel like you're feeling a lot of internal pressure to spend money on things so that you have an aesthetic work bag and everything like that, please don't. Please just watch this video and try and think about the fact that most people in the world have a very mishmash collection of things that they use for work, and that's perfectly fine. I will also say I am privileged enough to work in a workplace that do offer some amenities that not all workplaces will offer. So I do have like a microwave to heat up my lunch, a fridge to store my lunch in, cutlery available in the kitchen, stuff like that. So if you don't, your bag probably looks really different, or you might need to bring separate things. Okay, let's get into it. The first thing obviously is the bag that I use. I believe this is, I've covered the label, but I believe it's the Anello backpack. It's like a really popular brand of backpacks. It's like a canvas material and it has this like zip in the back. I'm pretty sure I've had this bag now for over 10 years, and you can kind of tell if you look really closely, but like the bottoms especially are really frayed and stuff like that. I actually bought this backpack when I was traveling in Japan with my friend, and the reason that I bought it was because my backpack at the time had physically broken at the airport, and I needed a bag to carry all my stuff onto the plane and like to my next destination. So I literally had to hop into a store in the airport and buy this bag. And it was really lucky because I'm actually quite picky about stuff that I buy, especially durables like bags and stuff like that. It ended up being a style and a design that really works for me and the stuff that I'm looking for. So a few features of it that I really quite like is the fact that the top zipper is like wired and it's structured. So when you open it, it automatically creates this like rectangle shape, and I don't know if you can tell, it like holds its shape when you try to shut it. So it's really handy when you're stuffing a lot of stuff in and then you need to make it conform to the shape. The wires like really help you do that. The second is obviously the side pockets. Most backpacks come with this, but these are just like nice and wide, and so you can put two things here. I find them just a little bit more in line with the rest of the design of the bag than the ones that are just mesh or stuff like that. The front pocket's really handy. It's quite big as well. So again, you can put a lot of stuff in here. I don't know if you can see. It's quite like, there's a lot of room. So you can put quite a lot of stuff in there. Again, if you're taking this bag for traveling, if you're taking it to work, you can separate your insides from your outsides. The last thing is the fact that there's a handle at the top. I know not all backpacks have this, or if they do, they have one that's kind of just in the top of the bag at the back, but this one makes it kind of handbaggy if you needed to carry it this way. It's just a little bit handier. It feels a little bit sturdier because the weight's like equally distributed between the front and the back. And then it also comes with this little clasp, which I think is meant to be like a security extra step to like clasp these shut so that people can't open your bag as easily. But I find it really handy if I need to, for example, clasp a cap onto my hat when I'm traveling, and then it like gets added to this little loop, and then it can just hang on my bag when I'm traveling on a plane or something like that. It saves a tiny bit of space, or it just helps me keep my stuff together when I'm moving around. Now, I will say this zipper at the back, I kind of wish it didn't have one. I can understand why it's a feature, but I personally just don't really ever use it because I prefer to put all of my big, bulky, flat things at the back. So opening this doesn't actually give me access to anything or the ability to put stuff in quickly and take stuff out. It's meant to be, I'm pretty sure, when you have the bag on like this, you're supposed to be able to like swing it around and then open the zipper like this and get into it for stuff. So it's almost like a handbag, and it is very innovative. It just doesn't work for me and the way that I prefer to use my bag. So that to me is a minus, if anything. It's like an extra place where people can try and open your bag and take stuff when you're traveling. But so far I've been really lucky and I haven't had that many issues with it. One more thing to note is just the fact that there's only one compartment inside. So if you like having separated spaces, maybe this is not the bag for you, but I have had no issues with it. If anything, you just kind of make sure that the stuff you want to keep together is in a separate little pouch. I found that works perfectly fine. And there are two little pockets on the back of it, which I usually use to put like my tissues and stuff. So outside of that, there's really nothing else major that I feel like you'd be missing from a bag as a basic necessity. Of course, I am also going to take a moment to shout out all of the decorations on my bag. I've been also really lucky that a lot of the stuff that I have are either gifts or hand-me-downs from people that I know. And so given that this is a bag that I use probably the most often, I kind of just put everything on here because then it's kind of like I don't need a special occasion to take these around and show them the world. The first is a patch from my friend. She bought this for me from Etsy, and ironically it says collect moments, not things, and then it is immediately followed by just things. I do think that's pretty funny, but I've had multiple people comment on this patch, like just strangers being like, oh, I like the patch on your bag, which I think is so cute. And then I have a bunch of badges. I think these were all from escape rooms that I've done, which was pretty cool. And then these were badges that I either bought to commemorate a trip. I think these were from trips that I took with my parents, and the little capybara I actually traded for at my first art convention. So it's kind of nice when I see these pins on my bag and I see this patch. It reminds me of places that I've been to and people that I have relationships with, and it's just a nice little accompaniment to my work. Next, of course, is my work laptop. It is just a MacBook, and I've actually been very lucky to have been able to choose a MacBook when I started, because I don't think everyone is allowed to have a MacBook or their work allows them to use a MacBook. So very, very lucky. And I carry this MacBook around in this very beat up laptop case that I have had since, I kid you not, probably high school or uni. And again, it's one of those things where if you look really closely, you can tell it's quite worn, but it was just like a random laptop case that I bought from online because I knew I needed to be able to carry my laptop around uni and stuff like that. It's really basic. It's got like a felty pocket. It's not even a pocket. There's just like one separator in there, but it's for the same space. So I usually put my laptop in here, and then I put my notepad in this section or any papers that I need to keep track of. And then in this pocket, I usually keep my mouse, which is a Bluetooth mouse. I had to go and buy this one myself because the mouse that we're issued at work is like a wired mouse, and I prefer to have a Bluetooth one. So I use like an adapter for it because the new Macs don't have any USB ports. Bring back the USB ports, please. So this goes in the big pocket. And then in this pocket, I keep some pens for when I'm at work and need to take notes. And also this like multi-cord charger, which actually comes in really handy if I end up needing to charge my AirPods or my phone in a jiffy, or my portable charger is running out of charge, and I kind of just plug this into a port at work and I can charge things while I'm working. And then this top pocket here is actually empty because I found out that the connectors at work that you use to connect your laptop to the monitor actually charges the laptop at the same time. So normally if I was going somewhere where I wouldn't be able to charge using the monitor, I would bring my laptop charger in this pocket as well. Other things that I carry every day include my keys for my house and of course my AirPods for taking calls in the office. I actually bought this case which looks so janky, and it's literally like separated because it's meant to be connected by these straps. I don't know if you can tell, there's like places where there used to be straps, but they literally just snapped off, and I'm like, well, they still kind of stay on the AirPod through suction, so that's fine with me. I just mainly need this to buffer any falls on the AirPod because the first time I dropped my AirPods on the ground, they literally just like stopped working, and I literally had to go and get a new one. So after that, I learned my lesson, and I literally went and found the heaviest, dutiest case, and I haven't had any issues since, so hopefully it's doing its job. But yeah, AirPods, very essential part of working post-COVID. And my current lip combo, which are these. So it's the Etude Fixing Tint in 06 Soft Walnut. This actually was a tint that my friend got, but she didn't like the color, so she gave it to me and it works fine. I have no qualms about it. And then on top of that, sometimes I will use this Roman Lasting Melting Balm in the color 05 Nougat Sand, and it just like helps to hydrate it a little bit if you're using a fixing tint and you find that it's a little bit drying, but I don't always use two of them together. I just have them in my bag if I want to do a little touch up. I also have my wallet. This is a Coach wallet that I got years ago as a birthday present from my friend, and I've always used this wallet ever since. It's really handy. It's got 2 pockets and it holds basically everything that I need it to hold. And I like the fact that it's one of those things that, like a TARDIS, it's bigger than it looks. Not that I need to hold like heaps of stuff in here, so I like the option of being able to fill it with stuff. I have a personal toiletries bag. This is just like a L'Occitane makeup bag, one of those freebies that you get when you buy skincare in a set or something, and my mom gave me this. So literally it's just a random little makeup bag, and then in it I just store like my pads and my liners for when I'm at work and I need them. On rainy days, I will also use an umbrella. This is a really fancy umbrella. My dad got me this from Taiwan, which was so sweet of him. My parents were trying to think of a souvenir to buy me, but they're very utilitarian people, which I also am because they raised me. And so we always try not to buy souvenirs that are like sentimental. We try to buy souvenirs that are really good value and like useful. So he was in Taiwan and he was like, oh, they have this brand there and they have this umbrella that's really lightweight, very small, but very sturdy. So I got you this umbrella, which I think is the closest an Asian dad can get to being like, I love you and I care about you. Please don't catch a cold. So when it's raining, I will also put this in my bag. I of course will also bring my work pass because this is what allows me to get into my office building and to use the amenities. And I also use my key to get into work, as most Melbourne people do who take public transport. I actually put my MyKey in this little sleeve and it's on like one of these retractables, because you'll see that I tried to do this originally without the sleeve and I just literally hole punched my MyKey because I wanted a way to be able to get to my MyKey quickly. And it was really annoying having the MyKey card by itself, because if I put it in a pocket or something and it fell out, I wouldn't even feel it. But now I have this sleeve, it's a little bit better because one, my MyKey isn't gonna get dirty if I like, with it just being out and about. And secondly, it puts a bit of heft onto this item. So if I ended up wanting to just like not have this attached to something and just straight up put this in my pocket, this adds enough weight and substance that if I put my hand in my pocket, I can feel it and I like know it's there. And if it falls out, I can also notice that that's happened. So it's just like a more secure way to carry my MyKey, in my opinion. This is like a game changer, having your MyKey on a retractable thing and then like attaching it inside your bag. So much quicker than pulling it out of your wallet or having it on the back of your phone, because like, I want a cute phone case. I'm gonna put my MyKey somewhere separate. Now, because I'm utilitarian, I also carry just one of these like packets of tissues. I don't always use these. If I can, I kind of just use like what's available around me, but these are for, I think, like emergencies only. And it was actually really funny that I generally use these more for other people than I do for myself. Like if I'm at a meal or something, I, will just use the napkin that's there. But one time I was on a work trip and my manager at the time was really sick, like she had a cold, but she still had to come on the trip. It was a long story. And I just remember she didn't pack any tissues, and the whole trip she was just like sniffling, and I felt so bad for her. And at one point I was like, do you want some tissues? Like literally just take the packet. And she was so grateful that I was like, this is why I carry tissues around all the time. Like if you need pads, if you need tissues, you need pain medication, I got you. I'm one of those Girl Scouts who carries everything with her at all times, just in case. But yeah, carry tissues, if not for yourself, for your fellow kind. And the very last thing in my work bag, of course, is my lunchbox. Obviously there's nothing in it right now because I'm not going to work, but I, again, have had this lunchbox since uni days, and you can tell it's like really beat up because obviously I think you're supposed to take the label off, but I was like, doesn't really matter. Plus it helps me identify my lunch in the fridge. But this is just a Pyrex meal prep divided glass container, which if you eat like Asian meals the way that I do, game changer, because it helps you separate your foods and it's watertight. I've never had an issue with leakage with this. It's a plastic lid, but it's a glass container. Of course, I want to take a moment to appreciate the fact that I'm so privileged and extremely grateful that the way that my mom raised me and the partner that I'm with now make it possible that I can bring lunch into the days that I go into the office almost all of the time. Like, I've had coworkers comment on the fact that I'm always bringing my lunch, and part of it is just from a gut health perspective. I think I just work better with home cooked meals as much as possible. Like, my body doesn't really like deal with processed food well if it's too often. And partially it's just the fact it's just good practice in terms of saving money and stuff. So I think we as a household always tend to lean towards bringing home cooked meals where possible. And that's why I'm so used to having this specific lunchbox and I'm using it constantly. The way that I usually prep or pack my lunch is I will put this section full of rice, and that separates it from the juices and stuff of the side dishes. And then I will put my vegetable dish and my meat dish like next to each other. So I always eat what I refer to as like a gym bro diet, which is usually like a serving of carbs, a serving of vegetables, and a serving of protein. It's not even intentional, it's just good eating practice. And it like makes me feel satiated in the right way. Because if I eat just like a bowl of pasta, something feels amiss. Like, I feel like I need to eat pasta with a veggie dish. Or if I eat a salad, I feel like I need to eat a little bit of carb, like with some rice or something on the side. So I always like to eat a really balanced diet. And I actually have this thing where if I run out of one ingredient, like one component, I'll stop eating because like the ratio is off. So I always try to eat in a way that rations everything to the right proportion so that I can finish everything at the same time. But after I pack it, I always store it in my bag this way down so that the juices from the vegetables and the meat pull here and the rice is like untouched. So that when I put it down and I open it to eat it, the rice is still clean rice and clean rice flavor. That's a huge part of my work bag, in my opinion, and like my experience at work is the lunch that I pack, my ability to eat it the way that I want it to at lunch. And I usually just heat this up in the microwave at work, and there's cutlery at work. The only thing I will say about corporate workplaces is we have silverware, so we have forks and spoons and knives, but we also need chopsticks if possible. Like, we should get some, I don't know, like if it makes it easier to clean, like those stainless steel Korean chopsticks even. But I always BYO chopsticks if what I'm eating requires chopsticks and I can't make it work with a spoon or a fork. But if we can have chopsticks in the corporate workplace, it would be a huge game changer. Please, please, I guarantee you people will use it. If nothing, I will use it. Oh, almost forgot the MVP of my work bag is a huge ass water bottle. Now, if you remember watching my day in the life, you'll know I take hydration very, very seriously at work because you're basically sitting there stationary the whole time. And sometimes when you're snackish at work, you're actually just thirsty. Although you might also be snackish because you're using your brain. So you are craving glucose because you're using up all your glucose. But anyway, this is a bottle that I got from Ecology. It was like a recent release. And I previously, let me get the bottle for you actually. So before this bottle, I was using this Lululemon bottle that I got at a Kris Kringle probably like 4 or 5 years ago. And you can tell I was using it. She is scratched, she is dented, and the bottom literally there's like places where I've dropped it and she's all dented and her outside is all like nicked and stuff, which honestly, I don't really care. She could be completely scratched off in stainless steel and I wouldn't really mind, but I had to get a new bottle because she's quite small and having to make the trip to the kitchen constantly because I was drinking water really quickly was just a little bit disruptive to my work. And so that's why I had to go and get a bigger bottle. So this bottle is a liter bottle and it's great because it's insulated. So when I put hot water in it, as all Asians prefer to have, it stays warm for a little bit longer. That's the only reason I would ever get a new bottle. Before that, I was literally using this. And before this, I was using that like a stainless steel camping water bottle from Aldi. And that's now my gym bottle and it just stays in my gym bag. But cannot fathom buying like a Stanley cup or something like that for the purposes of the aesthetic. Like, please don't. If there's anything you should not overconsume on, it's water bottles. They never break. It doesn't make any sense to have to buy a trending water bottle. Like literally just anything that holds water and is safe to drink from, it works. Like stainless steel, glass, all great. The only thing about this that I'm a little bit like iffy about is just the fact that the lid is like tethered to the bottle, which is very European of them. And it wouldn't be an issue if it wasn't for the fact that it doesn't stay. So if I'm drinking this way, the lid like flops around. So I literally have to hold it at the top of the bottle like this when I drink it, which maybe is the way that they designed it, but I have to do it this way when I drink. Otherwise the lid will swing around and hit me in the face as I'm trying to drink from this bottle. That's my only feedback. Everything else about this is quite good. Or maybe make the bottle slightly more ergonomic to hold, because thank God my hand fits all the way around, but if you're someone smaller, like I literally have to hold it by the stainless steel part. And I've had this slip once and it was my heart, like I almost had a heart attack. So my only feedback for the Ecology team, otherwise it's a great bottle. It's a little bit heavier to carry around, but I generally just try to avoid having it full if I'm not going to be somewhere where I can't get water for a long time. So if I'm traveling from home to work and I know there's a tap at work, I'll just fill it up a little bit just for the trip there, and same when I'm coming home. I'm gonna have a sip now actually, and I'm gonna drink this water. I'm not gonna edit this bit out. You're gonna drink the water with me. You're gonna go get water right now, and then pause this video, go and get water, and then come back and then just drink some water with me. Okay. Good job. Now you're hydrated for at least another 25 to 30 minutes. Okay, I think that is everything in my work bag. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you have any questions about anything in my work bag, I don't know why you would, leave a comment down below. Or if there's something that you always carry in your work bag and I didn't show it, and it's really useful or really helpful or really important, please leave a comment, because I am always interested in seeing like what I should be carrying, but I am not. That might make my life easier. So help a girl out, put it in the comments, let me know. Otherwise, I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great few weeks until I see you again. Bye. I'm so sore from the gym.